What's up guys, this is your boy Kwame here. Today we are going to be doing deadlifts, one of the most important exercises in the gym. But more importantly, I've got a lot of requests lately about lower back pain while deadlifting. So I'm going to be teaching you guys ways to avoid lower back pain in the gym while deadlifting. So what I've got here is a deadlift platform or just an outdoor gym, which is pretty cool. I've got a barbell, I've got my plates here. Now, just before we get a little bit deeper into it, we're going to talk about different forms of deadlifts. We've got conventional deadlifts with our feet shoulder width apart, keeping our chest up, driving our hips forward. We also have our sumo deadlifts where we get a slightly wider stance. Our main target is our inner quads or thighs, our glute hamstrings, and our back also as a secondary movement. So now how do we avoid lower back pain while deadlifting? Okay, now let's talk about the technicalities of deadlifting. First of all, when I'm deadlifting, I'm not going to be deadlifting in shoes like this. The reason why is because they're not flat enough for me. Okay, so check that out. I wouldn't advise people to train without shoes. You can get some flat right-of-way shoes. Use my code Kwame10 to save on all your purchases because they also offer some nice ankle support, stability, and they look good. So why not? All right, so let's start off and break this down with a conventional deadlift because it's the one that people experience the most lower back pain. First of all, let's work with form and technique. When we're doing a conventional deadlift, we usually have our feet shoulder width apart. And what we're trying to do, we are trying to hit some posterior chain muscles. Posterior chain meaning muscles from the back, okay? What does that mean? Our center of gravity is something we do not want to be leaning forward. So if we are deadlifting and we're leaning forward like this, too often while we're leaning forward, it's easy. You guys probably see it's easy for you to injure your back or lower back, okay? We want to take this away. We don't want any lower back pain. We want to avoid that at all costs. So first of all, our center of gravity has to be back, okay? So how do we do this? We want to avoid, okay, the weight coming forward. We want to avoid leaning on our toes. We want to keep this center of gravity back. So in order to do that, feel your heels, okay? Feel the ground. We want to push through our heels. Feel the ground. You can alternatively lift your toes up, although I don't really recommend lifting your toes up all times. I like to keep my feet flat on the ground. I've got naturally flat feet, so I had to learn the hard way deadlifting, squatting, and I had to learn the hard way activating my glutes, okay? So, we want to first of all push through our heels, okay? Now, when we lift, we don't want to be leaning forward. We want to also keep the back closer to our shins. The reason for that is, imagine if I was deadlifting here, okay? It's easier for me to round my back. No, we don't want that. While I'm in here, it's easier for me to line it up and make a perfect deadlift, okay? Now, that's not just it. So I want you guys to continue with me while we try to avoid lower back pain while we deadlift, okay? So, pushing through our heels, keeping our chest up. So we always start from the legs, okay? Make sure your knees are in line with the bar and make sure that your shins are not also too close to the bar because sometimes you can get a little bit of a scrape on your shins and might start to bleed or something that we don't want or uncomfortable. You can always also wear some long socks if you know that the bar irritates your shins, okay? Or some people just keep it on as a trophy, okay? So next up, chest up. Now we're going to our setup position, okay? Now what happens is naturally we're gonna lean forward, okay? And we don't want that. What we wanna do is be a little bit more upright. Doing this starts to activate our glutes, hamstrings, okay? We want to be able to squeeze our glutes, okay, to actually start the movement, okay? So when you get down into a deadlift, the setup position, get down nice and low, retract your deltoids. By doing that, drive those shoulders back. Okay, drive them back, keep your chest up. Now squeeze your glutes, drive your hips forward, and lift, okay? Bring it down, tracking, and up. Take a deep breath in, chest up, hips, and up, okay? Nice and simple, nice and easy to do, takes a lot of practice. Now, what do we do if we get caught up round in our back, okay? What I will personally do is grab the bar, rotate my elbows and squeeze my glutes, okay? Now, I'll try and drive from my hips forward first. If I can't lift the weight, I'll drop it and I'll reduce the weight. I'll take my ego, throw it out of the door, and then come back in with no ego, lift with some lighter weights and progressively overload. Slowly increase the weights after I've got it, okay? It's a learning curve. I'll tell you guys one secret as well. your body gets used to everything you do. So eventually, you lifting 5 kilos, your body's gonna get used to it. You are gonna get stronger. You'll be able to lift 10. If you do want some programming, I do programming as well. Feel free to hit me up in my bio so I can help you guys further, okay? So I showed you guys with a conventional deadlift, and I'm gonna quickly go through the forming technique. Keeping our chest up, keeping the bar in line with us, making sure we're not rounding our back, always elbows in, drive, squeeze our glutes, and down. Now, how do you do this with a sumo deadlift, or wider stance? Now, it's actually easier to avoid lower back pain doing a sumo deadlift. Why? Because with our feet wider, it's easier to maintain balance. Our center of gravity, it's very hard for our center of gravity to come forward and you start to lean forward. It's easier for you to actually feel your heels on the ground. And just for reference, my personal best on a conventional deadlift is 310, and my personal best on the sumo is 330 kilos. So just in case you guys want any reference, and just saying, like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I have been deadlifting 4 years, and I'm actually just trying to share my experience with you at the same time, okay? So, feet shoulder width up, sorry, feet a lot wider. Make sure you don't go wide enough that the bar hits your toes. Now, with a sumo deadlift, generally your range of motion is much shorter. That's why people sometimes call it the cheat deadlift. But hey, look, you're still lifting that amount of weight and up, okay? So, we get into a squatting stance, okay? You wanna be almost upright while you do this, okay? This is the easiest way to pull a sumo deadlift. Now squeeze your glutes, drive your hips forward, and let your legs lift the weight, okay? Chest up, drive, and down. Nice and easy movement to execute. Very, very easy to execute in comparison to a conventional deadlift. And you can see why too often a lot of people usually get lower back pain from a conventional deadlift, and that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight in this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Comment below, drop some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to know next, because at the end of the day, this video was actually requested by you guys, okay? I want you guys to keep requesting so I can keep making content for you. Your boy is out. Make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe. Okay, I'm losing my words now. Kwame Duo version 2. I'm posting epic content for you guys. I'm reading the comments as well daily. Make sure you chuck in some comments, share this around, hit that subscribe button. Your boy is out.